Hello. Today I'm working on an Asus Chromebook laptop that has a flickering LCD. So you can see that flickering when you... I'm not touching it at all actually. It doesn't seem to... I'm not sure if the issue is the LCD panel or not. So I think I may need to take the back off and touch the connector and see if that's the issue. This is a Asus C423NA or model C423N. I'm going to shut this down first. Yeah, I'm going to shut it down so that I can disconnect the battery before I do anything with the display connector. That way there's no risk of blowing the backlight fuse. Smaller. And there we go. So start from the front, and I'm going to use plastic. Well, that's coming apart quite easily. It kind of feels like there might be a screw under that foot. We'll see what this side feels like. Nope. It's just got some clips that are tighter. Oh, come on now. You can see the gap. There we go. I'm wondering now, is there... It seems like there might be a screw in it. Just one. I'm gonna check. Yep, look at that. How mean. God. So they put a screw under that foot, but not under that one. Alright. So there's the display connector. I'm going to disconnect the battery. So this latch here, I initially started trying to pull on it, but then I realized you just pop it open, and now it should come out. Comes up. Interesting. I've not seen a connector like that before. Okay. So there's the battery disconnected. So I'll plug in the power, which is a USB-C connector. I think I can go on either side. This one's straight into the motherboard on the left here. We've got a power light. So I'll press the power button. You can see that it's coming on. I'm going to ground myself because this potentially is very sensitive. I'm not convinced that the issue is the LCD or the connector. I don't know at this point. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna turn it off, and I think I'm gonna take this bezel off. It's probably glued on. Oh, this is going to be hard. So I might start on the outside. Normally, if an LCD is broken, if I know that it's cracked and it's going to be thrown away, I'll just dig in over here because I don't mind if I scratch it. But in this case, I'm not sure that the LCD is the problem. So I need to just open up this bezel from the outside. And so I'm going to use a pry tool from the outside. Maybe. We'll see. I guess if I use this plastic, it should be safe enough, but I just can't get under there. There's got to be a way in. I know there is. I just don't want to break anything. So, as usual, being overly cautious might cost me some time, but that's okay. Kind of looks like corner here might have a way in. Kind of need to sharpen this little spatula. Yeah. Okay, so I'm in. Oh, okay. This is cracked. Oh no, it's not. It's split intentionally. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't pry from the outside. So, this pry tool went in here, and the bezel is coming up inside of the little, there's a little piece of black trim on the very outside that is remaining part of the lid. So the bezel was inside of that. I didn't notice that before, but now that I look more closely, you can see there's a little groove between this thicker part of the bezel and this little 1 millimeter line around the outside. So I should be able to just pop that out. I think it might be taped up here. I'm not sure how that's going to come out. Time will tell. So I'm going to zoom back out so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, there's some double-sided tape here around the webcam. And then back to the clips up here. Beautiful. Alright. I feel like there might be some tape down there. I'm not sure how the rest of those clips are going to come up without this tape coming up, so I'm going to need to just get in here and undo this tape. Okay. Well, I'm not sure how to make this come free. Like at what position is there the most space? Because I don't see it. Unless I have to take it off altogether. Maybe I should. I think I will. Because the only thing holding this on, really, so I just need to undo these screws for the hinges, the display cable, and that's it. The wireless antenna go through the body of the laptop, so it's just the display data cable. I'll do that first. Tape down, and then probably slides back, so my battery's disconnected. I don't see a little latch. I'm going to see if this just pulls out. Yep. Okay, well that's going to be pretty straightforward, I think. So let's see, there are little red dots next to each of the screws. There's a little red dot next to each thing you need to do to get the display assembly out. Each of the screws and then the data cable. Okay. I'm going to try to hold these hinges while I open them. Okay, so now, hopefully this comes free. Let's get this data cable loose. Yeah, okay. There. So there's the bottom half of the computer, or the computer itself. And here's the display assembly. Oh, I bet these have to come off. Well, maybe not. No, they're just clips. I feel like they're still trapped somehow. And tape. Ooh, that is sticky tape too. Nice, okay. Oh dear, okay, so... Right, well there's the LCD panel. I can see it's... The data cable here splits into two. It looks like part of this connects to the LCD panel here, and then the other part connects to this, which I think is probably a ribbon that goes up to the webcam up here. And this actually looks crooked. I'm going to connect the computer again without the bezel. So I'll screw the hinges back down. And reconnect the video cable. Okay, hinges are tight. So now let's open this up again, plug it in, and turn it on. I can see that it's really flickering quite badly. I don't know. I'm still not 100% convinced that it's not the cable. Although I can dig away at this cable and it doesn't seem to... Oh, it does. And this cable needs to be robust enough to withstand opening and closing the hinge. Alright, so I'm fully flexing this cable and it's not flickering. Well, I mean, it is flickering a little. I'm not touching it or moving it or anything. There's no cooling fan in here. Just a heat pipe, heat sink on a heat pipe. Weird. There's hardly any heat in this thing at all. The memory power supply is a tiny bit warm. The memory chips aren't warm. The CPU is not warm. I mean, I'm not doing anything on the computer, but it's awake and it's displaying an image, so wow, it's impressive. Not much to this computer, really. Very small circuit board. I guess that's where the storage is too. Integrated storage, integrated RAM. Oh, I don't know. I do feel like the display cable at the bottom of the LCD panel looks crooked. Do you see what I mean? That looks like it's partially unplugged, doesn't it? I don't want to... I mean, I wouldn't risk shorting it just by doing this. Like blow in the backlight fuse or something. I don't know what to do. What would you do? I'm just flexing the motherboard a little bit to see if I can do anything here to, to trigger that problem. I'm not pushing very hard. I just want to, if there is a chip that needs to be reflowed or something, that's not making good contact. I don't think that's the case. I feel like it's the LCD, but I just don't know for certain. And the only way to remove this LCD panel from this lid is by pulling these two tabs here. So I would need to replace that tape as well. So it's impossible to take this LCD panel out without removing that tape permanently. I think I'm going to look up the replacement cost for the LCD panel and phone the customer. Okay, the LCD finally came in for this laptop, for this Asus Chromebook that has a flickering display. So hopefully it's the right one. Now this computer has, the LCD panel is taped in. There's double-sided tape. I could see the end of a piece of tape here and here. The pictures of the LCD showed an LCD that had screw terminals on the side. I haven't opened this yet. So this has metal tabs for screws. It looks that part of it looks very different. I really hope it's the same. I mean, it is the right size, obviously. And I feel like those tabs will interfere with the hinge, but the plug is right. So I wonder if it's possible to take those tabs off. It's not. They're part of, you can't really see. Oh sure you can. So this piece is a metal, just a metal strip that's across the end of this LCD that obviously is not designed to come off. I'm a little nervous about this one because of that, and because it has double-sided tape holding the LCD on. Does this open all the way up? It does. Good. Okay. So I'm going to clear a path up here so that I can extend this computer up onto my workbench and pull this tape out. You know what? I might try to save that tape. I've done this before where I wrapped the tape around a plastic cup like this to keep it from twisting. Now I'm going to stick something under here to try to get a little bit of prying action. So now I'm going to put this around this plastic cup to just help me pull straight. It really doesn't feel good. I'm just trying to make sure that this, when it gets to the end, that I don't let a lot of it come up and just twist and get ruined, just in case I need to reuse it. Okay, there's the end of it. Oh dear. I'm going to find another one of those. Because that went about as smoothly as this could go, to be honest. Do it again. Okay. That tape is something special, I tell you. It just feels so unnatural. It feels like it's going to break because you're pulling it so hard. And then it doesn't. So now this LCD panel is just hanging on by the connector, which is attached with tape. So I'm just going to make sure that this foam is covering everything. And now I'll try to get this tape off without putting any stress on the LCD panel, because I'm still not 100% sure that this LCD panel is bad. I won't really know until I get the new one in. Until I get the new one connected and tested. Ooh, don't go under there. It's taking some of this metallized foil off of here. Why? That adhesive is just so strong. Oh, don't rip it. Come on. It's ripped it. There's no way to avoid that, really. This connector looks like it might have been loose. I'm gonna reconnect it. Oh no. Well, that's right. I disconnected the battery to prevent myself from making this mistake that I would have otherwise just made. Disconnecting and reconnecting this without disconnecting the battery. So, let's plug the power in. And we'll test this. This is the old LCD, just with the plug reinserted. All right, so it's not flickering. I'm going to put some Kapton tape around that connector because I think it had just slid out a tiny bit, and that's what was causing it to flicker. I don't know what would have caused it to do that, but I'm gonna test again. Okay, it looks like we are synced. We're in, and it's working fine. So the main difference is that this computer currently doesn't have a battery installed. So I'm going to shut down and install the battery. Okay, I've shut down. I'm going to close the lid and connect the battery. If I remember right, there's a screw under this foot. I didn't take out that screw, did I? Oh, Dave. Even after commenting on it. There we go. The battery was connected the whole time. Okay. Well, at least that answers my question about whether the issue with the flickering only happens when the battery's connected, because I know that that's not the case, because it didn't flicker. So I think I'm going to test it one more time, and if it doesn't flicker, I'm going to put it back together. Put some double-sided tape to hold that LCD panel back on, so fingers crossed. Oh, you have done this wrong. I can't believe this LCD works so well this way. Alright. It's not flickering. Suppose I could let you in on that, eh? I am very happy that this is no longer flickering. So I'm going to shut it down. I hope the customer's not too annoyed that I created my own account on here. I'm going to have to somehow delete my account. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna wash my hands. So I've got this 3M tape that I've used for this purpose before. I will cut slits around, so from there to about there, about half a revolution. So I might show you what I'm doing. I'm just holding the blade at a set height above my workbench and then turning the tape. I'll give it a little more of an angle here. And now I'll do the same thing again, only lower. So did that go? It went just more than halfway around. So now I'm going to cut this, because that's where I've had problems in the past. Oh man, I cut through several layers there. Okay, so bring the laptop back over here. Alright. I feel like that worked well. I'm going to have to put something under the top of this to keep it from sticking. Maybe I'll put part of a post-it note on there. Make it very visible. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this just beyond that. There's a magnet in here that's messing with my scissors. Okay. Alright, you should be able to grab that. Might not be long enough. Now the next row. So the backing has come off of the tape. So my time is limited. Okay, so you'll be able to get in there with the Alright, so you can see the top tabs. Those will be able to, you can pull on those to release this tape. So I think we've achieved what we set out to achieve. Or I've achieved what I set out to achieve, whatever you want to say there. I think I've done it. Now, let's see if we can get this back together and whether it still works once we do. So the moment of truth. Yep, this is working fine. Okay, I'm just going to clean it up and get it back to the customer. This is actually good news. The good news is that I'll be able to return the LCD panel or put it into my inventory, probably return it for a full refund minus the shipping costs, and the customer and I will just absorb that. But at least it's not, it didn't cost a 70-pound LCD panel plus labor. So now I'm happy. I will shut it down and clean it up. All right. Thanks for watching.